Hello friends, and welcome to Take Two for Wednesday the 17th of June 2020. I'm Jeannie. I'm so glad you decided to come along for the ride today. Well, it's Wednesday. You know what that means, don't you? It's hump day. That's right, it is. I hope you are having a wonderful week. And if you're feeling a little, like you need to get over the hump, a little slumpy, today, I hope that my Take Two comes and lifts you up and brings you to a place of joy and thanksgiving and excitement today, okay? All right. Now, I want to talk to you just a little bit today about how one tiny little thing can upset the whole apple cart. Well, I was thinking about an illustration I saw done many years ago at a church, and it was where the pastor had somebody come up on the platform, and he pulled out from behind the pulpit, he pulled out a big jug of fresh spring water, beautiful fresh spring water, and he said, "Are you thirsty?" It was a hot summer's day, and the person up there was a young boy from the youth group, a teen. He said, "Oh, yes, sir." He said, "Would you like a glass?" He said, "Oh, I sure would." He says, "Well, here, let me open this up." So they get out the jug and they open the top, and he says, "Oh, before I pour it," he says, "You like this, don't you?" "Oh, yes." He says, "Before I pour it, let me just do one thing." And he went and he got this little vial, and on it said rat poison. And he went over and it wasn't really rat poison, but he was making an illustration, and he went bling, and he put like an eyedropper of this supposed rat poison in this gallon jug. He goes, "Okay, now I'm going to pour you a glass." And of course, the young man was mortified. He said, "No, I'm not going to drink that." And he said, "Well, why not?" And actually, the rat poison was like red. I think it was just red water with food coloring, but it was enough to scare him. He said, "Well, why not?" He says, "It's just one little drop. You got a whole gallon of beautiful spring water. Why would you care about one little drop of rat poison?" And he goes to pour it again. And the kid stopped to the pastor. He goes, "Pastor, no, I'm not drinking that. It'll kill me." And he said, "Really? You think one little drop of poison will kill you?" And he said, "Yes, sir." So, of course, everybody was just kind of like going along with it. And finally, the pastor said, "No." He says, "I certainly would never do anything like that to hurt anybody in my congregation." He said, "Or anybody for that matter." He says, "No, it was just red food coloring. But I scared you, didn't I?" And he said, "Yes, sir." So then he reached out from behind the counter, behind the pulpit, and he pulled out a brand new, the seal hadn't been broken, gallon of real spring water, poured the young lad a glass and gave it to him, and he said, "Here you go." And the kid was kind of like, "I don't know." And he drank it, and he said, "Yes, that's fine, and it doesn't have anything in it, no foreign objects, nothing." Wow. How one tiny little thing can ruin something great and wonderful. How about if you were to go into a factory with all kinds of gears and wheels turning and things churning and say like a big gigantic factory with all kinds of stuff in progress, and you were to go over there with just one little pebble in your hand and toss it in. What do you think would happen? Well, in some cases, that could completely clog up everything. One tiny little pebble, there you go, one tiny little rock, you throw that in, it could be disastrous. See, the fact of the matter is that no matter how good and wonderful and big something could be, one tiny little thing could destroy it completely. And that's when I started thinking about us, our walk with the Lord, our lives, our families. One tiny little thing could destroy everything if you don't do it correctly. If you don't leave those little teeny tiny little rocks so that they don't show up in your life. There's a saying in the Bible, there's a verse in the Bible that talks about one little fox spoiling the vines. Now, what they're talking about is like a whole entire vineyard, a winery with all kinds of vines growing and all kinds of grapes, delicious, wonderful grapes growing, thousands upon thousands of grapes. But you let one or two little foxes in there, hungry foxes, and your grapes are going to be gone and destroyed. That's what can happen in our lives. If we let one little thing that we know shouldn't be there in, you can be sure that it will be like a domino effect. Boom, 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 boom. And before you know it, all of the vines are spoiled because you let a fox in. So here's my word to you today, boys and girls. Be careful. Don't let any little foxes come into your vineyard. Don't let any little drops of poison get into your gallon of water today. Don't let any little thing sneak in. Be on your guard. Be always on your guard that you don't give in to these little things, because one little thing can lead to a huge disaster. Okay? All right. Now go be a blessing to somebody today. You might end up being the only one who is. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Jeanne Sigler, Jeanne Sigler. Hit the subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. I'll let you know when I post another Take Two. And I've noticed my subscription numbers are going up a little bit. So I'm going to ask that you tell a friend, please, because I would love to encourage as many people as possible. Because as you're encouraged, I'm encouraged. Okay, have a great hump day. Don't let any little things in that don't belong there, okay? I love ya. I'll see you on Friday. Bye-bye.